Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Sask-Alta Radio Club is using a special call sign this month to mark the anniversary of D-Day. Stacey Comer has the details.
I have a special guest joining me today on Primetime Local News. Dwayne Friedrich is here. He's the president of the Sask-Alta Radio Club. Thank you for joining me today, Dwayne.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you.
Well, for those who don't know, Dwayne, can you tell me a little bit about the radio club itself? What is it that the members and yourself do?
Well, the Sask-Alta Radio Club it's an amateur radio club, and often a lot of people think that's like broadcast radio. It's not. This is the term is that we're the ham radio operators. That term ham, if anyone's listened to that before. So our club is actually an affiliation of our local members. We're about 30 to 60 active people. And it's a hobby. It also leads into STEM, science, technology, engineering. We've got some younger people. Obviously, you'll see in me, I'm not one of the younger members, but it's quite a age group. And it's a hobby in which we have fun in dealing and making contacts with people around the world peer to peer. And when I mean peer to peer, there's none of that. We can use internet, but there's none of that. It's actually from my wire antenna in my backyard to that guy in Italy and whatever antenna he has. Nothing in between us. So no satellites, nothing like that. We're just relying on our radio waves bouncing around the world.
Well, today is D-Day, which is a very special day
Correct.
to remember and commemorate. And the radio club is doing something all month to mark the anniversary of D-Day. Can you tell me about the special call sign that you guys have?
Yes, we went and approached the federal government as it. I'm just going to use their term. It's the Department of Innovation, Science, Economic and Development. As we get a special call sign from them, we can ask and request to make for these events. And in this case here, we got Victor Echo 6 Delta Delta Alpha Yankee, which is D-Day. VE6 DDAY. The VE stands for Canada, which is recognized around the world anytime. In fact, a lot of people like to talk to Canadians. We're friendly. And 6 is the province of Alberta. If it was in Saskatchewan, it would be 5. And of course, then the D-Day for D-Day. We wanted to do something to commemorate and remember the sacrifice of all those thousands of Allied soldiers. We had 14,000 Canadians involved in Juno Beach landing and all through that wartime. Radio was, radio communications was becoming quite important in the Second World War. So again, celebrating and recognizing the use of radio and the loss of our friends and family members and giving us the lifestyle that we have today. So we're operating this call sign from various locations throughout the month of June. And what I mean by operate is we're going to sit down and we're contacting other people. And when we contact them, these people will post and the word will spread. And others like to make contacts to these special calls. And we're going to give everyone that contacts us a certificate for that recognition that they made a contact with us.
Well, there are some special events you guys are also hosting where the call sign will be used. One of them is going on right now in Vermilion, and the next one is happening at the Legion in Lloydminster. The Vermilion one is at the Armory there. Can you tell me about those two events, Dwayne?
Yes, at the Armory, that's Lieutenant Craig Armory in Vermilion. I think hopefully I pronounced his name correct. One of our other members, our past presidents actually, Don Henry, has been very instrumental in keeping that armory operating and going on. So they've got an amateur radio station set up in there, and they started operating that yesterday at 5 p.m., which was at the same time as the invasion started. So that means June 6th in Europe. And they've been operating it for 24 hours. Last night, when I checked with them during our meeting, I think they've already had about 50 contacts made. We've also had another member using the call sign from his home. So total, we've already made about 200 contacts around the world in various forms. So that event's going on. We've had some guys manning it 24 hours a day in that location, and they would welcome people to come and have a visit. But by the time this airs, maybe they'll be done. And then the Legion is coming up next on this Saturday here in Lloydminster.
Same type of situation?
The Lloydminster Legion, we're going to set up a radio station in there. We're going to have a small antenna set up in their horseshoe parking lot barbecue area. And when from 4 p.m. to about 8 p.m., we're going to have a few members there also, and it's going to be come and go, and we're going to try to interface with people. And if some people are brave enough, we'll get them to chat on the radio with someone. Hopefully conditions are well. That solar storm the last little while upsets everything in the world for a bit. So we're still working through some of that.
Well, Dwayne, this is such an interesting hobby that a lot of people get involved in. If there are people who might be curious about the club or interested in joining, how do they track you guys down?
Well, we do have a web page and a Facebook page, Sask Alta Radio Club. You just type in Sask Alta is 2 words, Radio Club. We'll get the web page site. It's to make sure I say it right. It's Sask Alta. It's SASKALTA RC.ca. Or it might be just, sorry about that. I should have had that in front of me here.
We can also just do a Google search for that.
Just do a search on that. Yes, that's how most of us do it anyway. Whoever remembers a URL address nowadays. So that's for sure. Well, just quickly, we do hold classes. We do teach people. We have access to an examiner, certified examiner. And we had 4 people just get their license here just in the last little while. 2 of them upgraded to an advanced license. I should touch base on Field Day also, Stacy. That's another event that's going to be happening where we'll still be using that call sign. And our Field Day is a time where we are able to demonstrate how we can do emergency communications from a more of a remote location or off our typical grid running off of power generation. And we'll be using the call sign also at that. And that's going to take place on June 22nd at the Vermilion Fire Training Center. And people are welcome to come to see us do that. And I also have invites going out to some of the local government officials.
All right. Well, Dwayne, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And we look forward to the events coming up. This is such a great thing you guys are doing. And the club is just such a fun thing for people. And like you said, you actually have to talk to people around the world, get off the internet and get off your actual phone and enjoy conversations again. So thanks so much. And we look forward to speaking with you again.
Well, okay. Well, thanks for having us, Stacy. Appreciate it.
Abby St. John joins me now with the weather. And Abby, the question everybody's asking is, what about that wind?
Yes, we saw an extremely windy day. We're still dealing with the wind. We've had gusts up to 60 kilometers per hour, average around 30 to 40 kilometers per hour just of the wind, and then adding the gusts in there. Definitely fighting against it when you're walking. Feels like you're going uphill, but at least it's very sunny out, and it's not like it's cooling down much. We still have very warm temperatures, which is kind of a reprieve from the cool, gloomy-ish temperatures that we had been experiencing over the last few days. So the wind is really the only concern right now. It's just very strong, but it should die down over the next few days. 19 degrees currently, mix of sun and cloud, mostly sunny, which is a great day. That wise, 41 kilometer per hour winds currently, and it's going to stick around a little bit. Current temperatures in Alberta, 19 out in Wainwright, Vermilion, Vegreville, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake, 18 out in St. Paul and Marwayne, and also out in Edmonton, 20 in Provost, and 17 in Lac La Biche. And in Saskatchewan, 13 in Isle Cross, 19 in Pierceland and St. Walburg, 18 in Meadow Lake or Green Lake and Meadow Lake, 21 in Maidstone and Macklin, and 20 out in North Battleford. Overnight tonight in North Battleford will drop down to 7 degrees. Breezy in the evening, about 19 kilometers per hour. Otherwise, it'll be mainly clear, just a little bit of patchy clouds throughout the evening. And then tomorrow in North Battleford, a daytime high of 19 degrees, mostly sunny, but that wind will stick around, 32 kilometer per hour winds, but mostly sunny day. So that's really all that you have to be cautious about. Overnight tonight in Cold Lake, 9 degrees, breezy in the evening, 17 kilometer per hour winds, otherwise clear to partially cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, unfortunately, more showers are predicted in Cold Lake, a daytime high of 13 degrees, 70% chance of a shower in the morning. Otherwise, it'll just be a gloomy and cloudy day out, windy as well. 22 kilometer per hour winds, so it'll feel a little bit cool. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster will drop down to 7 degrees, mainly clear, but will be breezy, not as breezy. It will slow down to 22-kilometer-per-hour winds, but it will still be quite windy out, of course. And then tomorrow, to break down the day, mix of mostly sunny day for the whole day, which is nice. 8 degrees around 6 a.m., 24-kilometer-per-hour wind, so it will get up as the day goes on, so it will be another windy day out. 16 degrees by noontime, again, mostly sunny, 33-kilometer-per-hour winds. And then around 6 p.m., it'll speed up to 37-kilometer-per-hour winds, 15 degrees, mostly sunny again. And at around midnight, it'll remain mostly clear, 7 degrees, so it shouldn't be too bad of a day tomorrow. And then over the next 3 days here in the border city, a high of 19 and a low of 2 for tomorrow. And then Saturday, a mostly sunny day, but it will feel a little bit colder with only a daytime high of 8 degrees and a low of 3. And then on Sunday, it warms a little bit back up, mostly sunny with a high of 15 and a low of 6. So we are looking at sunnier days ahead, but as first look at your evening weather forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Lakeland Team Cattle Penning Association is a large organization that holds team penning competitions throughout the Lakeland area. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Maurice Benoit, the president of the Lakeland Team Cattle Penning Association, and he's here today to talk about their event that is taking place this weekend at the Lloyd X. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Maurice.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
And so for those who are unaware, what exactly is team penning?
Well, team penning involves 3 riders and 30 head of cattle in an arena. And there's lots of rules, of course, but the object of the game is to go in and get 3 specific cattle. All the cattle are numbered 0 through 9, and there's 3 of each of those numbers. And when you cross the start line, the announcer announces a number, so she'd say number 1. So the 3 riders go in, separate the 3 ones from the 30 head, bring them back to the other end of the arena, and put them in a small pen at the other end of the arena. And that's then called for time once they enter the pen. And you have 1 minute to do that.
And Maurice, tell me about some of the skills that are required to be good at team penning, such as the teamwork that you need between your riders as well as the teamwork between you and your horse.
Well, you've pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Probably the biggest thing is the communication between your horse and reading the cattle at the same time. As you can imagine, doing it in less than 1 minute, things are going pretty fast out there, and you have to have full control of your horse. Watch what the cattle are doing. Watch what your partners are doing. Usually you get to ride with a few other people at the same time, and there's certain disciplines or protocols, if you will, to get the cattle out of the herd and back to the pen. Horse riding, cattle reading, communication with your partners, 3 biggest ones.
And how many teams will be at the event this weekend, Maurice?
Well, this weekend it's a small show. The last time I talked to our secretary, there was going to be 67 teams out for the weekend. We start at 10 o'clock every morning, and we're usually done by 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
And if people are interested in the event, where can they go to get more information and possibly also enter for this event this weekend?
You can go to our website, lakelandteamcattlepenning.com. If you go through all the website, it shows you our show dates and times. Just show up at the Lloyd X, start at 10 o'clock, starts with the open class. There's 4 different classes, and we'll be going throughout the day. We take a lunch break, and then we'll be done about 2 or 3 o'clock.
And finally, is there anything else you would like to add today, Maurice?
This sport is very family orientated. Both my wife and I do the team penning, and a lot of our competitors and our members are family orientated. Lots of husband and wife and kids that come out. So it's a fun sport. Come out and very competitive, but a very easy competitiveness where everybody gets along and you ride with everybody all day long. And then, of course, the socializing afterwards is a big draw as well, where everybody gets to hash out what everybody did right or wrong.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Maurice, and we hope that you and the rest of the association have a great event this weekend.
Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Now here are your agriculture prices for today. Our Callum Hawker was back at Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre for this week's edition of Golf Tips.
Back with Marty Wheaton here at Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre. Marty, we're going to be working in the sand today. I know a lot of times I kind of struggle with this. I hit a decent shot. I get up, I'm on the green, and I look into the sand, and my ball's right here. How do you hit, a confident shot and just to lay up onto the green here?
Yeah, definitely the preparation is a little different, unique in the way that a bunker shot is the only shot in golf that you're not making contact with the ball first. We're going to come into the sand, and there's some different ways that we can set up that makes this shot a little easier.
Perfect. Okay, let's see it.
Okay, so we found ourselves in the bunker here. There's a couple key things to note, the difference between bunker play and a regular chip shot, and we'll just walk you through those things and hit a couple. Hopefully this helps you at home. When we're addressing the ball, we want to get a good base when we're in the bunker, so we're getting our feet into the sand so that we have a good base. I'm going to align this ball pretty close to my front foot. And like we said, this is the only shot in golf where you're not making ball first contact. So we want a nice long swing, lots of speed. But what's going to slow down the energy of the golf ball is us hitting sand first. Okay? So off the front foot, I'm going to try to come in near this line just behind the golf ball. Nice big full swing with an open face. Ball comes out nice.
Playing out of the bunker can be one of golf's most frustrating shots. And luckily, with the help of Marty, he's got me feeling a lot more confident when hitting out of the sand, and will be very useful when I'm out on the course. Catch us again next week for another day of Golf Tips.
Time now to take a look at all of the pet pictures you've been sharing with us for our Pets of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Today I'm joined by Dean Wald, one of the organizers for the upcoming motorcycle rally happening in Nielberg. And to start, Dean, can you talk to me a little bit about what the motorcycle rally is for those unaware?
Yeah, we're organizing a group of riders from the area, hoping to get a crew together to do some touring of some of the sites of Saskatchewan. They'll be doing a route that involves 4 different check stops in order to register for the prizes at the end of the rally.
Can you talk to me a little bit about those prizes that are available?
Well, it's going to be first, second, and third prizes will be cash value. So we're paying out a percentage of the entry fees.
I'd like to hear about the day as a whole. Can you paint a picture of what the day will be like?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. We have kickstands are up at 11 o'clock for those that are participating in the bike rally. That'll be led through. On return from the bike rally, there's going to be a supper. Of course, the draws for prizes. Supper is available for the bike riders, and if you want to come as a ghost rider, you can that includes supper as well. Supper's open to the community for $10 per plate. And after the rally and after the supper, we have some exciting entertainment from a girl from Monique Reinhardt from Lloydminster, who has done singing in Nashville, and we're going to run a beer gardens. So the beer gardens and entertainment is open to the public, and we're also we'll just have a donation jar for that.
And what are you raising money for this year?
We have in our Legion, we have different fundraiser events, but right now we have classroom for kindergarten and preschool kids 2 days a week, and our flooring is in need of replacement. So that's the specific goal of this fundraiser, but we do other things as well. We have bursaries and scholarships that we give to these high school students, and donations to the community as well. So we're just specifically is for the flooring, but we'll branch out into other donations as well.
Was there any last things that you'd like to add?
One thing that I'd like to mention is that we have 2 blocks away from where the Legion is holding the beer gardens and entertainment, which is under a tent, is RV parking. If somebody wants to bring an RV or a tent or a trailer, there's hookups and showers. There's also availability for just pitching a tent for that event. So, and the next day, a little plug, if they decide to come for that day, the museum in Nielberg, which is right beside the RV park, is doing a car show. So come for the weekend. Bring your camper, bring your bike. And if you don't want to bring your bike, you can join by being a ghost rider or just coming to the supper and beer gardens and entertainment. Be awesome to see everybody. Support your Legion.
Well, sounds like it'll be a great event coming up on June 22nd. Unfortunately, that's all the time that I have today. So thank you so much, Dean, for taking the time to talk about this.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
We have a special guest joining us today on Primetime Local News. Morgan Kleiber is here. It's a chance to see her in Bonnyville and Lloydminster coming up here later in the year, which we'll chat about. But first of all, Morgan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Well, for those who don't know who you are, Morgan, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into country music.
Yeah, I'm from Southern Alberta. I live and work on my family's ranch, but I am also pursuing a career in country music as well on top of that. And I try and incorporate those lifestyles together as much as I can. And yeah, a lot of my gigs coming up this summer are definitely rodeo dances or similar type events, festivals and stuff like that. And my dad's also a singer-songwriter, and so I grew up in a musical household, and playing those type of events is right up my alley. I really love doing that kind of stuff.
Well, let's talk about the single, your latest single, Cowboy Killer. I had a chance to listen to it, Morgan, and you have a very soulful, almost an old country type of a voice. It's very like soothing to listen to. And as soon as I heard it, it really caught my ear. So tell me a little bit about that song. Did you write it? And what's the story behind that one?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so flattered that you say that. I did not write the song. However, fellow Canadian Derek Rattan did alongside Brad Tersey from Old Dominion. They co-wrote the song together quite a few years back, actually. And they originally wrote it for Miranda Lambert, and she held on to the song for quite a few years. And just, life changes, went a different direction with her music. And after like a 6-year hold, ended up releasing the song. And so through some connections with my producer out of Calgary, his name is Denis Dufree. He's good buddies with Derek, and yeah, we chatted with him and a couple other people about potentially cutting some of their songs, and this one stuck out to me. Like I didn't write it anyway, and I understand why people might think I did, because if they know anything about me and my husband and my life, they're like, oh, That is her husband to a T. So the songs and the lyrics just really hit home for me and resonated with me. And yeah, I like the tune. We got the chance to put our own spin on, I guess, the sound of the band and the music around it. And I'm a fan of, I guess, what's considered now older country music. But there's great country music in all decades, and so yeah, I had the chance with my producer and the players that played on it, and we did this at a MCC recording studio in Calgary, and yeah, got to put my own flavor on it and make it a Morgan Kleiber song.
So is this part of a bigger project, Morgan? Are we going to see like a full album or an EP, or what are the plans for the next few months here?
Yeah, definitely. There's more coming. It's been a busy year. During the winter, I was in studio at MCC working on my EP, which released back in April 20th. That came out on just to digital streaming services, so Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc. And then this single came out as a follow-up. And this was done through part of the Ranchman's Rising Star program. So that was a competition that I was in back in the fall and happened to bring the win home to Medicine Hat. So that was one of the prizes, was to have this single paid for, which is a huge help to somebody like me. But there's lots more on the way. I've actually, in the last few weeks, gone back to studio again, and I've been working on completing my album. So I have a full-length upcoming album coming out in the fall and a very exciting concert announcement around it. And yeah, there's lots more to come. The best is yet to come. I really believe that.
Well, it sounds like it's an exciting time for you, Morgan, and we get a chance to see you actually twice here in our area. So July 8th in Bonnyville, and then July 13th in Lloydminster, which is part of the Lloyd X Fair and Parade and all the exciting events that surround that. So Morgan, if somebody comes out to one of your shows, what can they expect to see?
They can expect to see a very energetic band. I'm so blessed I get to play with some amazing players that are all just locals from Medicine Hat, which is really cool. They're incredibly talented. They also played on my first release, which was my EP. That was all done by my local band with a few extra flavors added in. But I show up to gigs and country dances like Bonnyville and Lloydminster with a proper six-piece country band. So if you like hearing fiddle and honky-tonkies and a ripping old twangy guitar player and just a lot of your favorite old groovin' country songs, then I think you're really gonna like this show. We're a pretty entertainment-packed group.
Well, Morgan, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. And if anybody is looking to find out more about you or to hear the latest song that's out, which is amazing, like I said, I listened to it and my ears were just like, this is a great song. This is a superstar. So it's called Cowboy Killer. Where can they find you and where can they find your music?
Yeah, I would appreciate all the streams and love on all the digital streaming platforms. So I am available. Both my single and my EP are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon, etc. And you can follow along with my day-to-day music adventures and life adventures out here on the ranch too, and on my social media. So my handle for Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is all Morgan Kleiber Music. And yeah, there's lots of entertaining stuff on there if you want to follow along with. So
Well, Morgan, thank you so much for chatting with me today, and we look forward to seeing your show when you're here in Lloydminster. Again, that show is July 13th, and you are coming up here in Bonnyville as well soon. So thanks so much for joining us. And again, I'm excited to see your show when you come here to visit us in the border city.
yeah, I'm really excited to travel up this direction. It's going to be some new country for me. So thanks a whole bunch for having me. I super appreciate it. It's been a real pleasure.
Donut fans and sneaker fans are teaming up as Tim Hortons announces a special collaboration for their 60th anniversary and National Donut Day. Yes, there is such a thing. Tim's and Adidas are releasing 4 donut-inspired Adidas Samba sneaker designs. The shoes will not be available for sale, but they can be won in a contest which kicked off earlier this week and runs through tomorrow. The 4 designs draw inspiration from some of Canada's favorite Tim's donuts: Boston cream, honey cruller, vanilla dip, and double chocolate. Winners will be drawn June 10th.
I think I love what Tim's is doing for their 60th anniversary. Different unique things like the shoe draw and, bringing back old donuts. I love what they're doing with their anniversary.
That's all the news that we have for you this evening. Thanks so much for joining us and have a good night.